Now we will see how we can connect to a data source for reading our data. There are three ways in which this can be done. First is connecting to Amazon's storage service S3, which will hold your raw CSV files. Second is Redshift, which is the data warehouse service in the cloud. You can fetch your data using a Redshift query. The third is RDS, which helps you to connect to any relational database service that you have. It could be MySQL, SQL Server, or any other. All the steps to connect to these sources are given on the console itself. We will see these once we move on to the hands-on session. The connection options are available in the Create Data Source tab. One point that needs to be taken care of is that for connecting to Redshift data, you should have an active database connection and a table to hold your data. There are some input file requirements that should be justified before you start pulling your data. We will look into these. The input file for AML will always be a CSV. In case of an XLS or any other file format, you will have to manually convert and then upload to S3. There should not be any encoding on your file, as Amazon tends to reject any special characters or encoded data and hence leads with corrupt data. The processing is done row by row, so we should have one observation or one record in one line. The sequence of attribute is also something that matters. The sequence of attributes should be same for all the records, and in case you are using splitted files, you should be careful that all files have the same sequence. Else the algorithm will read the wrong sequence and come up with the wrong model on the wrong data. Another important point to note is that if we are having more than 10,000 or 10% of rows which are corrupt or non-readable, Amazon will reject the whole data set. You can also use multiple files for loading data. It's a better option if you are working with large files. It is suggested by Amazon that for file sizes greater than 1 GB, split them into chunks. The chunks are usually decided on the basis of number of clusters that you have. Number of clusters will be equal to the chunks that you will make. This is done to make the processing faster. Each cluster can process one chunk parallelly then. Also, when you are trying to keep your splitted files, you will keep it in the following pattern. So if your data is in S3 bucket of this format with multiple files, you will give your path till the data folder name. So it will look something like this. All the files that will be present in this parent folder will be read by Amazon automatically. One another point is that AML can build models on dataset up to a size of 100 GB. The efficiency of the model remains up to 100 GB, and in case of more than that, AML will try to shrink your data or not see the data. So you should have maximum of 100 GB of data in your S3 path.